Oh, I have been waiting for this rematch with Diego Pavia.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing tonight, Josh?
I'm doing good, bro. I want this get back on Diego Pavia so freaking bad.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, he's already beaten one school from the state of Alabama this year. We are almost on the 1-year anniversary of him beating Auburn last year. Well, hey, a lot of people are starting to realize that this Diego Pavia kid is not something that you can take lightly. Let's just
He's the real deal, that's
way.
for sure. The real friggin' deal.com.
Yeah. He is. I am just so excited for this opportunity that we have to play him again. When somebody that plays for New Mexico State, usually it's a one and done. And if you miss your chance, that's it. And
yes, absolutely.
Not the case this time around. We get to play them because his tight end and his head coach, now the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, have now transferred into Vanderbilt. This team has beaten the number one team in the country, albeit Alabama, and them really not being that great this year. They have taken Texas down to the wire. They have fought the hardest game of the year and one of the best teams in the country, Georgia State, to the wire and lost. Sorry, my bad. Georgia State's really not that good. So
no,
this team is beatable then, right? That's what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. Hugh Freeze just needs to go back and watch what Georgia State did against Vanderbilt and copy that friggin' recipe and put that same product on the field. I don't have those stats like in front of me right now. I don't know what went on in that game, but they need to. There's something there that Auburn needs to replicate for sure.
Yeah, I think they can also replicate what Texas did yesterday. I think they can really do things to Vanderbilt that makes them uncomfortable. Now Vanderbilt, fought back to be in that game, but Texas pretty much had that game under control and in hand for the most part throughout the entire part of the game. So I think Auburn probably needs to go back 1 week and watch that. And maybe watch the Alabama game to see, what they can stop Diego Pavia and how they can, make it to where he's not going to be hurting us as much as he has hurt some teams this year.
Well, what I can take a wild guess at what Auburn could do on the defensive side of the ball is obviously they're running a 3-3-5 right now. I would say stick with a 3-3-5, but have a linebacker probably almost always dedicated to Pavia and have him spy. And the perfect player to do that would be DeMarcus Riddick. The dude he's a baller. He tracks the ball. He watches the quarterback. Last week against Kentucky, he kind of was too fast for his own shoes and wasn't able to slow down enough to get back. But if you can do that and you can put pressure on Diego Pavia, he's going to make those mistakes. He's going to try to scramble for the run. The dude can run. He's got legs. He's very serviceable as a runner. He's leading Vanderbilt in the rushing category as well. He's Vanderbilt's leading rusher. So, I mean, if you can do that one simple thing, I have a feeling that Auburn's defense would have a very, very good shot at increasing their odds at winning the game.
Yeah, we talked about this before we clicked record. He's not doing a lot of things statistically speaking as far as something that really stands out, but he's a baller, man. And when things matter, he's going up there and he's lighting teams up when it matters. And so credit to him. He did the same thing at New Mexico State. He did it against Auburn. He didn't win every game he played in New Mexico State, but it seemed like in the big moments, he definitely, stood his ground and played up to the competition.
He's a very composed quarterback. He really is. He knows how to stand tall and take a hit and deliver the ball. So we all know what to expect from Diego. I don't know if you've watched a lot of Vanderbilt games this year, but I watched the Virginia Tech game. Wasn't expecting to win that game, and he played great. Watched the Alabama game, watched the Texas game, and I watched the Missouri game. The dude can flat out play. He's very good, and Auburn already has some experience with them, like we mentioned, and I'm hoping we can get on the right side of things this year.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I mean, they brought in the tight end and the head coach from New Mexico State, and so these players, they know what it takes to beat Auburn. And up until the Kentucky game, there's been a lot of talk about how last year's Auburn team was better than this year's Auburn team.
No.
Auburn team is starting to put it together and is going to be able to shock a lot of people and actually win some games down the stretch. And we started with the Kentucky game. Hopefully we beat Vanderbilt. I think, some people will earn a little bit more respect if we beat Vanderbilt because they've had a good season in the SEC. They are not the worst team in the SEC, and it's not even close. They're not even close to the worst team in the SEC.
As a matter of fact, as of last week, they were number 25 in the nation.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, and 25.
Yeah. And you and I talked about the fact that they should still be in the top 25 and probably ranked higher than 25, to be perfectly honest with you. There are not 25 better teams in this country than Vanderbilt because of Diego Pavia.
Yes. The dude is a friggin' monster.
Yeah. So we, you and I, you talked a little bit about DeMarcus Riddick being the person that is going to have an impact on this game. A little tease: he is not one of our impact players.
No, he's not.
For me, he was close to being that because I think they're going to ask him to just make sure Diego Pavia does not get past him, and he's definitely fast enough. I'm hoping he's composed enough. But let's jump right into it, Josh. Let's talk about our keys to the game. So, Josh, I'm going to let you start off and give us your first key to the game here, and tell the people what you told me the biggest key to the game is. Really,
it is the most obvious key, and that is to pressure Diego Pavia. We got the dudes to friggin' do it. We got Jalen McLeod, Keldrick Falk, Dorian Mausi, Eugene Asante, DeMarcus. We got enough people and with enough speed and talent to get back there and put him on his heels. And that in my opinion is the biggest key to the friggin' game. If you can unsettle Diego Pavia and force him to make a decision, possibly even mistakes, then you're definitely going to put yourself in a better position to win this friggin' ball game.
Again, I think this might be the biggest key to the game because this whole team runs through Diego. If he's having a good game, they all are feeling it. They never feel like they're out of the game because that dude is just a straight up baller. He is. I heard it somewhere else, so I can't take credit for it. He is a poor man's Johnny Manziel.
I mean, maybe with the momentum factor, the dude, he never quits, and Johnny Manziel never quits. So that
just
I
the way
can
he
see,
plays,
but
the free looseness that he plays.
Know.
Yeah, poor man's Johnny Manziel.
We're talking very poor if that's the case.
well, Diego Pavia, plays free and loose. Guess what? Auburn needs to play free and loose. We did a little bit there towards the second half in the Kentucky game. We need to carry that over into this game. This team realized, hey, we're not going to lose the game. We're not going to get tight. We're not going to tighten up. Hugh Freeze has come out and said, I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to coach players the way that they need to be coached. I'm going to coach hard. I need to get back to just letting it rip on offense. Okay, coach, let's do this. Let's play free and loose. If this team can stay just focused and just non-stress free, which is hard to do. I couldn't do it if I was in their position. So
hell no.
Yeah, I'm critical. I'm going to be critical. I'm a hypocrite. That's why. But go out there, play free and loose, man.
I'm so glad you brought up what Hugh Freeze said about coaching the players harder, because I've been saying this all year. You can go back and read our text, Cameron. I said that it seems like Hugh Freeze in these close games, he's playing to not lose and not playing to win. He even said that. He's like, sometimes it seems like we're playing to not lose and not to win, and he needs to change that. And it looked like he changed that. I mean, Freeze had the flu against Kentucky. He still made the trip and coached the team. And so, I mean, his bowels were free and loose and his team was free and loose. And I'm so glad that the team.
He did have to have an IV before the game. So, oh man, that is Oh, that is an image that I definitely don't want in my mind, but let's go ahead and move on for that exact reason. My next key to the game, Josh, is going to be we need to focus on special teams execution because we had to start the last few games. We started inside the 10-yard line because we got a block in the back on a decent return to start the game. We cannot execute in the field goal range or in the field goal game. We cannot execute sometimes in the punt game. And again, we had a really good Keontae Scott punt return that got called back and put us again behind everything. Now, granted, the team moved the ball on that possession, so it didn't come back and bite us in the ass like all the others have. But we have to eliminate these problems on special teams. Those problems alone have probably accounted for possibly half a loss, right? I mean,
at the very least, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you just cannot do this. So play free and loose, and that goes to focusing on special teams execution. We just have to be smarter when we're playing special teams, and hopefully this team, it's a focus this week, hopefully.
Yes, I hope so. And I'm hoping my next key to the game is also a large focus. We did it against Kentucky. It's control the damn clock. Run the ball, stick to what you know, and play the Uno reverse card on this New Mexico State trio that they got down at Vanderbilt. I mean, they basically have the same team they did at New Mexico State. All three components at Vanderbilt were all three.
At least the one that can play football.
Yeah, I mean, it's just control the clock. We had, I think it was 11 or 12 minutes more time of possession than Kentucky did last week. And it showed. The defense was able to do their job, get off the field. They weren't allowing a whole lot of third down conversions. I think Kentucky, they had like 2 or 3 third down conversions. They had 4 for 12 on third down conversions, which is a huge landmark for Auburn defense this year. My goodness. And the one time Kentucky went for it on fourth down, obviously Kay and Lee intercepted the ball. So, I mean, if you can control the clock on offense, your defense is going to have more energy. They're going to be more rested, and they're going to be able to do their jobs a lot more efficiently.
Plus, let's be honest, we want to lay it on Diego Pavia, and we want our defense to really just push him down on the ground and just don't let him get up.
I don't want to hear any sound bites from Diego Pavia after a Vanderbilt win on ESPN, especially after Alabama game. I don't want to see that crap. I just don't. I want to.
If we control the clock, we're not going to hear that. And so I'm okay with not even letting him touch the ball that much. The way that the clock has worked this year, if you go in there and just are bound and determined to control the clock, it's so hard for the opposing offense to really get going. We've been on the receiving end of that. And it's by time that we did it to start the third quarter against Kentucky. We need to do it again. Doesn't necessarily mean that we need to run the ball every play like we did on that drive, but keep it in bounds, get completions, and just control the clock and really just keep them off the field. Keep Diego Pavia away from what he excels, and that's just not even letting him get the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. We need to go back and take a page out of New Mexico State's playbook from last year and put that same concept on the field against Vanderbilt. New Mexico State had almost 39 minutes of possession against Auburn last year, and Auburn had 21. New Mexico State also averaged 5.8 yards a rush. Auburn averaged 2.5. That right there is one of the biggest components of the game. They were able to move the chains on the ground and keep that clock running.
Yep. Okay, Josh, what are some of our impact players of this game? We've talked about the first one. I'm again going to let you take the lead here and announce our first one, but we've talked about it all night.
It's Diego Pavia. He is obviously the number one key player in the game. The dude knows how to play football. He knows how to win games, and he knows how to keep the chains moving. He knows how to run his coach's offense to perfection, and that's what they're going to strive to do against Auburn. And I'm hoping the momentum we have from Kentucky will carry over into Vanderbilt and keep that confidence in the bellies of our defense so we can put ourselves in good positions to win.
Yep. And the thing is I've been talking a lot about Diego. You've been talking about Diego, and I seem to mess up this portion of our episode every week because once again, I was supposed to take this player and I kind of pushed it on to you. So I'm going to take the next player, and I'm willing to take this Eli Stowers. This dude, again, he's one of the guys that came over. He's part of the New Mexico State trio. He's their tight end. The dude's, I mean, he's not that special, but he's one of their top contributing offensive players. And
he's special enough to average 13 yards a catch.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And he really does. And he just makes plays when it matters. Him and Diego they're just gamers. And so, it's hard to sit here and give him credit because, again, you watch him and he's out there running around. He's not that fast. His numbers don't explode off of the page. He just somehow makes it count when it matters the most.
He catches the ball when it needs to be caught.
Yeah. And so if Diego is going to be able to get the pass off, we need to make sure that we stop the guy that he's going to be targeting, his favorite receiver, his favorite target, Eli Stowers.
Yes, absolutely.
Who also played a little bit of quarterback in high school and can throw the ball.
Oh, I don't want to see none of that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You just keep that away. And the person I think could do the best at keeping Eli Stowers in check.
Here, Josh, actually, before we get to your
next, you wanted to go next?
Player, okay. I want to go next. I want to go next. Again, I set this up to be me talking first, and then you, and then me, and then you. But again, I messed it up. So I'm going to go back to back here. I'm going to take the spotlight here. And our impact player for me is Keldrick Fall. The dude has been averaging in the last few games 2 sacks a game, has just been tearing it up. He needs to, again, continue to have that impact on this defense. And as he goes on the defensive line, so does everybody else. Offensive lines are having to focus on this guy. He is a menace on the defense, and he needs to continue.
He's a sophomore.
He was making plays left and right in that Kentucky game. Left and right. In big moments, too. I mean, so many times this year, he's like in perfect position to make a play, and then all of a sudden some young player or some player that shouldn't be in the way comes out of nowhere and gets in his way, and he has to kind of slow down and then kind of go around him and then still makes the play.
He's definitely a difference maker, and I'm so glad he decommitted from FSU and came to Auburn. I'm so glad he did that.
Yep. Yeah, he's clairvoyant. He knew there was issues all around him. I guess Auburn's not much better than FSU, but still.
No, they're 3 games better than FSU, or 2 games better than FSU.
Okay, Josh, let's talk about your last impact player here. You go ahead and get into your
last player. You texted me saying, "Do you want to take Jarquez again?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna switch it up this week." And I was going to say the perfect person to stop Eli Stowers is Jaron Thompson. I mean, the dude, he's been a little out of place a lot this season. But in the Kentucky game, I don't think I had any issues with Jaron Thompson's position. I don't think I had any problems with his assignments. He was actually playing his player, and you didn't really hear his name called. And that's what you want from your safeties, unless they're, making picks and stuff like that. But Jaron Thompson is going to be the perfect player to put on Eli Stowers and keep him out of the game. If Jaron Thompson can do that, then Auburn's defense is going to be in such a good position.
I agree completely. We talked about it. Every single one of those players are going to be impacts, and they are going to be players that determine the outcome of this game. Every single one of them. Stopping Vanderbilt offensively is so important that's the reason why we didn't even choose an offensive player in this game. Yes, Peyton Thorne is important for not turning the ball over. Yes, we need Jarquez to run the ball really well, to control the clock, which is one of the keys to the game we talked about. But the biggest part of this game and stopping Vanderbilt is stopping Diego Pavia, stopping Stowers, just stopping the New Mexico State people, because we didn't stop them last year. And we need to rectify that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the perfect game to do it too. We got momentum coming into this weekend. Our team's feeling more confident. Jarquez Hunter's pumped because he's now leading the SEC in rushing. And we all know that offenses can move the ball on Vanderbilt. But the thing that Vanderbilt has had the most success on is their offense controlling the game and moving the ball on opposing defenses. And you're right. Our defense is easily the most – it's the focal point of the game. And we can, if we can get our defense on the same page of our offense, and this is, I saw so many people on X last night talking about, I don't know if I agree with them wholeheartedly, but they said a lot of people were like, we literally saw the birth of a dynasty. We probably won't see Auburn lose very much more often moving forward. I don't know if I believe that 100%, especially this season, but it was definitely a game that we needed, and it came at a perfect time, especially if we want to get bowl eligible. And you got to win against Vanderbilt to do that.
Yeah. Jumping a little ahead, a little preview for my final prediction. This team needs to continue to show me and prove me wrong. And because I'm not sold on them continuing success moving forward, but we'll take a look and see. So talking about our preseason prediction, Josh, you had Auburn winning 34-13. I had Auburn winning 37-14. If that happens, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to feel really good. I'm going to feel really, really good.
Yes. I don't think I have that same score prediction. Probably not even close. I would say for this game, because I'm still high on the victory, I want to say a 24-21 Auburn victory. 24-21.
Okay. All right. It's doable. Vanderbilt's defense is not that great. It really just runs through their offense. So it's really not that great. I completely understand, and I see where you're coming from there. My final prediction, I kind of teased it earlier, but I am going to say that Vanderbilt is going to win this game 24-17. I am not sold.
I really hope you eat shit after that, dude. I really hope you have to eat crow next weekend.
I am too, man. I hope I am wrong. I hope that I just completely botched that, and that our preseason predictions end up being closer to what it really is, or at the very least, we win the game. I don't care what the score is if we win the game. I just would love for us to win. I just don't until they prove it to me that they can win back-to-back games, until they prove it to me that they can, against a good team, not hurt themselves and shoot themselves in the foot, against a team that does not have a lot of injuries. Okay? I'm not going to believe it. They need to show me. Okay? They need to
tell you what, man, if we can come out there and win by our preseason prediction, it'd make me feel a whole lot better going into Texas A&M and into Alabama. 110%. If we can go out there and do that, we're making a bowl. 110%.
Yep. Ooh, making a bowl. And on that bombshell, Josh, War Eagle.
War damn Eagle.